My name's Tim. This is my story. I became unfucked in 2018. Prior to that, my whole life was fucked, and came to a point where I was forced with the decision to make to keep on being fucked or become unfucked. And what happened for me is I had to surrender, and what that means is I had to terminate my old self, everything that I thought I was, everything I thought I wanted to be, and become the man that God wanted me to be. And some people that might come easy. For me, it wasn't. I've had to put in a lot of work. I've had to do a lot of things that I didn't want to do. One of them was get rid of my ego. I believe in ego deflation and personal transformation. And part of the driving force of what I do to break that cycle of the life that I've had was I had to stop using drugs and alcohol. That was a very strong part of my life. Both of my parents did that, and part of growing up in that, I was taken away, and I decided that I wanted to be a convict, and I thought that that was going to be the life that I would lead, and I thrived off of violence and crime. And it was in about 2010 that I was shown a different way. I was shown what it looks like to live on the other side of that life, and I was very uncomfortable in doing that, and I ended up having a daughter who's here with me tonight in 2013, and she doesn't know all of the things that I used to do because she just sees me as her dad, and part of growing up was becoming a dad. And I'd like to tell you that when she was born, I stayed unfucked. I didn't. I continued to do other things and living a different type of lifestyle that's not aligned with God's will for me, or not aligned with the principles in one of the programs, and so I had to go out and get some more experience. And when I came back, part of the process is a surrender. And when I came here the first time, I didn't believe in surrender. And, I tricked myself into thinking I'm not surrendering. I'm just retreating in a better direction, and this life will still be there for me if I ever decide that I want to continue living that way. And it didn't work out. 2018 is when I really stayed on this path, and I made a decision, and to live God's way, and do my best to not live the world's way. Because if I sat here and told you that I'm a perfect individual, you would have probably already turned it off. I'm not a perfect individual. I do a lot of things imperfectly, but what I have is I have grace. I have grace, and I'm not as good as giving grace as I receive. And it's a daily struggle for me, man. It's a daily struggle. What my day consists of is, I wake up in the morning, fight with my daughter about going to school, fight with her about what she wants to eat, and I go throughout my work day, and I get done with work, and I pick her up, and then do all of the daily lives. And for me, it's been an honor to have broken that cycle, because I'm a single dad, and not a lot of people can relate, because there's a lot that goes into it. It's the behind the scenes stuff that's really where the magic happens and where the work begins. So what I do is I put my faith into God, and all of the things that I do, I have to remember at the end of the day that God has never let me down, that God does not make mistakes. I've had the honor to meet a lot of people that are traveling that same path with me, and those are my family today. My family has been very fucked. I lost my baby brother in 2014 to addiction. I just lost my last little brother in January of 2024. And I know that I've been gifted an opportunity to help people, because at that time I didn't understand why did I make it through all of the things that I've been through. Part of being fucked was being sober and getting shot sober in 2015, you know, and still thinking that I can keep one foot in the shit and one foot in the sand, and that I'd be untouched, you know, and that's not the truth, you know. I had to fully commit to giving my life to God, and what that looks like for me is I'm in the program of Alcoholics Anonymous. I have a sobriety date of January 21st of 2018, and that's the day that I came in with both hands surrendered. You know, it's if you've ever had your house raided, you'd know what that looks like. You know, you come out with both your hands up, and I came into the rooms with both hands up, ready to do what anybody asked me to do, because I was tired of living the way that I was living. And today, you know, it's about maintaining my relationship with God. You know, I wake up in the morning, I pray, I meditate, and I try to be a better person today than I was yesterday. And some days I don't get to go to sleep at night knowing that I was a better person today than I was yesterday. But what I also don't get to do is rely on yesterday's activities to keep me right today. You know, I've been gifted the forgiveness, you know, and I know today that forgiveness is giving up the right to get even. You know, it's not about I forgive you, I just give up my right to get even, because I've never been a forgiving person. I've been a retaliatory person, you know, an eye for an eye type deal. And today that's not the case, man. I take what I got coming. I do the things I need to do. I suit up and I show up, and I continue to give all glory to God. You know, it's not about what I've done for myself, because I can't take credit for a gift that's been given to me. You know, it's not anything that I did. It's the things that people that have come before me had shown me. You know, I didn't invent living better or thinking about the next person or doing for something for someone without expecting anything in return. My whole life has been like, if I help you, what do I get out of it? And today that's not the case, man. I believe in the altruistic movement that's going around, and that's helping others. It's like a really big pay it forward type deal, you know. It's not what me, myself, and I anymore. It's who, when, where, and how.
Was there a turning point somewhere in your life that where you were like, you know what, I'm done?
There was an absolute turning point. It was January 16th of 2018. I had a pistol in my mouth, and I said that I can't go on living, you know, and I don't know how to do this. Nothing was working. The pills weren't working. The violence wasn't working. You know, the alcohol wasn't working, and none of it was working, you know. And that was my moment of a complete surrender. And I knew where to go, and I knew what I had to do. But most importantly, I was willing to do that. I wasn't looking for a ride there. I wasn't looking to, I'll check in next week. Where do I go right now, and what do I do?
It was deep. It was do or die. It wasn't
do or die.
A light. It wasn't
life or death.
Yeah, I get that. So how did you confront and overcome your feelings of despair and hopelessness that often accompanies life's toughest challenges?
By putting my trust in God. You know, I have to put my trust in God, because if I can sit back on a good day and confront life's toughness, you know, and start comparing myself to other people, and I should feel better, I should be doing different, I should be doing better. You know, I've had moments of depression in sobriety, you know, but I know they're brief moments. They're moments. They're not full. It's not my life, you know. I've been given a gift, and it's up to me what I do with that gift, you know. And in those moments, if I get stuck in that, I know the solution for me is to go help somebody. You know, it's to absolutely reach out to someone else, to ask them how they're doing, and not allow them to hear how I'm doing. It's just a selfless act, and sometimes it doesn't work. Sometimes it does. You know?
Yeah, well, I found that helping other people actually helps us more than it helps them usually.
Every single time, without fail.
Going through all that stuff, all your struggles and everything that you went through, how did that help shape you into the man you are today?
It gave me a sense of gratitude that most people with entitlement don't have. You know, I grew up in motels and stuff like that, and the things that I get to do today is I get to go visit those spots, and like I said, I get to be the parent that I didn't have, and every single day is a new learning lesson. There's no handbook, there's no YouTube channel, there's no cheat code for being a parent. You know, it's an everyday process, and for me, like I have I'm a parent to a little girl who's a girly girl, and I'm a Viking, you know. I'm a Neanderthal. I'm 6'5", 280 pounds, and my answer is just smash it, you know. And,
Yeah.
and so it's learning compassion and stuff like that,
Yeah.
which is really difficult at times because I don't recall winning many fights with that little person, you know. So it's a daily thing, man, and it all comes down to willingness, you know, willingness, honesty, and being open minded.
Tell me about one of your moments or your achievements that you're probably most proud of that you've little journey here.
One of the achievements that I'm most proud of is going to be single handedly my sobriety date. You know, it's not that I'm proud of it, but I honor it. You know, other than that, I mean, I'm proud of my daughter all the time. She never ceases to amaze me in the things that she does. But for that, it's going to be my sobriety date, you know, because that's more important to me than my regular birthday. You know, it's more important to me because I can remember where I was at that time and reflect. And usually for me, I take that day or that week and I like to sit with God and not complain and say thank you, because the other 356 days out of the year, you might catch me complaining, you know, but it's those moments I've been gifted, and I'm proud of I'm proud of the person I've become, but I'm the last person to realize that as well. You know, what I'm proud of is when I was put in a situation where I needed character witness letters, and I'm reading these letters because I'm a low self-esteem seeing type of person. You know, I see myself as very low, but when I was reading these letters, it was then that I'm in tears and I started admiring that person I'm reading about. But the whole time it was me. You know, these are letters from the people that are closest in my life, like my pastor, my employer, my friends, my family, and all those close to me. I'm reading these letters, and I never thought to myself like they're lying. I just thought, wish I could see myself that way, you know?
Yeah.
And so it was an awakening. I don't have any particular moment in time that I'm like, I'm proud of this. You know, I grew up with nothing and I still have most of it left. You know, it's so each time I like to celebrate the small victories. You know, I get by on that. And but the proudest, one of the proudest moments, of course, when my little girl was born, and that was March 18th of 2013. And oddly enough, she shares a birthday with my late brother who just passed away. So it's going to be like a double birthday type situation. So I'm definitely proud of my kid, and the time I get to spend with her on a daily, you know.
The things that those people were writing about you on character witnesses of those times, do you see that in yourself now?
I absolutely see it myself.
Right.
Yeah, I know that I'm the type of person. I call myself a middle of the night, no matter what type of person.
Yeah.
That means you can call me in the middle of the night, no matter what, you know. And if I can be there, I will be there. And if you're walking this path with me, which means you're honest and you're not committing crime, and you literally need help, like I will bend over backwards to be there, not necessarily for you, but with you in any situation, whether it be somebody to talk to, you need help moving, you're broken down, you know, whatever it may be. You know, I'm definitely that type of friend who will show up. You know, I absolutely enjoy sponsorship. You know, I love when I sponsor a guy and the light comes on in their eyes, because I had a sponsor who literally told me that he was going to make it so easy that I didn't realize I was doing it. And in that, I was molded into the man that I am today. You know, it wasn't that I woke up one day and said, I just need to get my life together and this is how I'm going to do it. It was a bunch of little victories in a row, you know, and he walked me through that. And I know that today that I am a good dad, because I'm at the places where you don't see a lot of dads. You know, I'm a cheer dad, you know, through and through, go Titans. You
That's
know,
right.
we show up, we hoot, we holler, we're loud. You know, I do those types of things. I'm there. The school knows who I am. They call me for help. You know, if it's whether it's cooking hot dogs or setting up for a play, they know that they can call Donna's dad. You know, and that Donna's dad will help. And I have those relationships, and I have a lot of people that count on me, and I count on a lot of people. I know that we're not. I'm not alone in this. You know.
It's awesome. We think those things of you too, also, Timmy. What message would you share with others that are currently facing those challenges that you overcame that don't know?
You're not alone.
Yeah.
You are not alone. You're not alone, and don't be afraid to reach out. You know, I come with a number, and I answer my phone. You know, you're absolutely not alone. I don't. I'm not really big on the it's going to be great one day, because it's great right now, and you might not know it. You might not realize how great it is. You know, and that's not just in comparison to somebody who's passed away, but in comparison to a lot of things. You know, we have a pretty good life, you know, and there's a saying that says everything's not going to be okay because it already is, and I might not realize it.
Yeah. That's good. No, they're not alone. They can reach out, and we'll be here for them.
Absolutely.
What do you think the lowest part in your life was when you're at your lowest moment in life?
That was the January 16th of 2018, you know, because I had already haven't had a brief stint in sobriety. You know, I came into the rooms in 2010, you know, and I didn't stay until 2011, but from 2011 to 2017, I felt like I was on a carousel, you know, and the music didn't change. Everything was the same, you know. I was miserable, uncomfortable, depressed. My life was unmanageable, and I was the last person to realize it. You know, it was absolutely unmanageable. It was being driven by a person that I thought that I wanted to be. And to me, that is low. That is very low, because it's not about that, you know. It's about receiving God's gift and letting others know what God's done for me. Like I said, I don't get credit for anything that I've done. I don't have a sobriety date. God gave me one. He gave me the willingness because I asked to do the next indicated step. And that's to ask a man with some more experience than I had myself to, hey, I don't know what I'm doing. Hopefully you do. You know, that's my simple prayer to God. I'll be driving by myself, and it's like, hey, I don't know what I'm doing. Hopefully you do. And you can just hear him go, ha, ha, ha. You know, like, I got you, man. I know exactly what I'm doing.
Yeah.
You know.
Looking back, was there a piece of advice or a message that you received during your darkest times that helped give you a glimmer of hope?
Yeah, it was the you're not alone.
You're not alone.
It was
it's the same thing. Yeah.
You know, it's you're not alone, and there is a solution. You know, there is a solution. Whether it be anything that you're struggling with, there's a solution for. Whether it be a spiritual solution, if you suffer from mental illness, there's a chemical solution. If it's prescribed right, you know, there's lots of different routes to go about, because one thing is people think because you get sober that you're all right.
Yeah,
you know, I'm the type of person, when I get sober, I get crazier.
Yeah.
My solution's gone.
Yeah.
You know, I don't have my numbing agent anymore.
Yeah.
And now I have to face the things that I've never really been taught how to face. I've never been taught, hey, when you're feeling depressed, you just got to go talk to somebody about it. It's not my story. I'm a bottler. I'm a bottler until I explode. And one day you might see me laughing and crying at the same time.
That's a whole new pond.
It's a whole new pond, man, with different types of fish.
For sure. Know? In moments of doubt, or when you face setbacks during this journey, we were getting cleaned up and you just hit a wall, how did you push through that to keep going? Like,
stay still and listen to the small, quiet voice. You know, and for me, prayer changes things. You know, and for me, when I pray, I have to pray out loud, because I don't want to pray with the same mind that comes up with the gnarly things that I think. You know, I have to voice my prayers so that God can hear them. And I know that God knows my heart, but I want my prayers to be heard. You know, I don't want to sit there and think with the same brain that just said F that person in traffic. You know, it's like, hey God, it's me, Timmy. We need to catch up. You know, I talk to God. I like my relationship with God, and I'm not really big on all the scriptures and stuff. I don't understand all of that, but I'm also not opposed to that, because I don't deny what God has done for my life, and what I've witnessed in countless others. You know, it's a lot of I'm a visual learner. I'm not of the educational variety. You're not going to give me a book and expect me to learn my lesson. I'm a hard lesson learner, you know, and I've lived hard and fast, you know, and that's just kind of how I do it.
Yeah. Where was it that we met, Timmy?
We met in the Orange County Jail. You know, I was getting out on bail, and because I gave away the clothes that I had, they told me they were going to keep me all night, and I knew that everything's going to be all right because my bail was already posted. And then put me in a room, and I meet Chad, and we had some mutual friends, and I told Chad, hey, this is the guy you want to call. Go call this guy tomorrow. He will absolutely help you. You're not alone.
Yeah.
And I believe you called that man, you know, and I don't know.
That's why I asked that question.
You know, and I came home, and of course I ran into Chad again, and that's kind of how that went, you know.
I did call him, and I always thank you for that, because that played a major role in my sobriety that I'll go into when I'm getting interviewed. I didn't know where to go at that time, and I stayed sober when I got out that time, and a big part of that was calling who you told me to call, because I didn't know where to go. So thank you for that. This Unfkd movement thing. How do you relate with it? And, well, I mean, we know how you relate with it, but how do you feel about it and what's going on here?
I'm all about it, man. I used to be fucked, and now I'm unfucked. You know, it's pretty black and white. It's
Yeah.
You're either fucked or you're unfucked. You know, it's not like NF. It's you're either un or you are, and you know, and it's pretty cut and dry and pretty easy to. If you don't, it's like a submarine, you know, and people on top of the submarine are fucked, and people that inside the submarine are unfucked, and you might not know where you want to be, but let that thing go underwater, and then you'll know where you need to be. You know, it's like, you know,
Good analogy.
you know, that's just kind of how life is, you know, and my thing is always gonna go to God, man, because if you're claiming the depression, you're claiming the disease of alcoholism, and you're claiming any of those struggles, you know, it's similar to having a gun to your head, the finger on the trigger, and the only thing that's going to stop you is God, and you don't have one.
Yeah.
You have to surrender to God, and you know, that's where most of my solution comes. It's my job to take somebody's hand and put it in God's hands.
That's right.
Because if I hold on to your hand for too long, I'll fuck your life up.
Yeah.
I'll start thinking I know something. You know, I'll start taking credit.
Yeah.
You know, or telling you how to live, but follow me for the other 23 hours a day and see if I even live that way.
No,
most of the time,
sure.
I'm not.
I'm glad that you got caught for giving your clothes away that day.
I forgot how petty they were in there, man.
Yeah.
You know, it's
and
been
it made you stay a little longer. It helped
quite
me
some time.
tremendously.
Yeah.
Okay, well, thank you, Tim, for spending the time to share your story with everyone, and hopefully reach out and someone hears it and wants to change because of it and knows where to go now. And we appreciate you and we love you, and thank you for coming
Love you
out.
too, man. Thank you. My name's Tim. I've been unfucked since 2018.
That's right.